You know Zebra Technologies, right? They make the scanners you see literally everywhere, from warehouses to hospitals. Well, they just dropped their latest earnings report, and wow, the market's reaction? It wasn't just positive, it was explosive. So let's dig in and figure out what's got everyone so excited.
Yeah, you're seeing that right. The stock shot up over 8.5% basically overnight. So what's the deal? What did investors see in this report that made them so bullish? Are we just talking about one good quarter here, or is there something bigger going on?
Okay, to really get why that stock jumped, we've got to start with the numbers. And let me tell you, Zebra really finished its fiscal year on a high note. Check this out. Fourth quarter revenue came in at almost $1.5 billion. Now, that's not just a big number, it's a 10.6% jump from the year before. And this is the important part, it beat what the analysts were expecting. You know, that's always a signal that gets investors excited.
And hey, it's not all about the top-line sales, right? Look at this number, over $800 million in free cash flow for the whole year. Now, if you're not a finance nerd, free cash flow is pretty simple. It's the cash left over after a company pays for everything it needs to run and grow the business. It's a super important sign of financial health. It means they've got a ton of flexibility to invest, pay off debt, or even give some back to shareholders.
But, it wasn't a perfect report card. It's always a bit of a balancing act. You can see here they absolutely crushed it on revenue, but they actually missed their earnings per share target by a single penny. I mean, come on. For investors, that tiny miss was basically nothing compared to the strong sales and the super positive outlook. The good stuff just completely outweighed that one little detail.
And this quote from the CEO, Bill Burns, really sums up the mood. This isn't just your standard corporate jargon. When he says they have a healthy backlog, especially in today's economy, that's huge. That means they have orders already locked in, which is like guaranteed revenue in the pipeline. It gives them a safety net and a really clear picture of what's coming. They're not guessing, they're planning.
Okay, but of course, it's never all sunshine and rainbows, is it? Behind all these great numbers, there's a pretty big storm cloud gathering. And it's not just for Zebra. This is something the whole industry is about to face.
So yeah, even with all this good news, the company was surprisingly upfront about a major hurdle they see coming right at them.
And that problem has a name, a gross margin headwind. Now, what does that mean? Well, think of a headwind when you're riding a bike. It's something pushing against you, making it harder to move forward. In business, it's an outside force that hurts your profits. In this specific case, it's the rising cost of a key part, and that's a direct threat to how much money they make on every single thing they sell.
And they put a number on it. Starting in the second quarter, they're expecting these rising memory costs to slice 2 full percentage points off their gross margin. That is a big deal. It's a serious hit to their profitability. So the million-dollar question is, what are they going to do about it?
And this right here is where the story gets really interesting. This is their game plan. See, it's one thing to see a problem coming, it's a whole other ballgame to have a solid strategy ready to go.
Zebra isn't just trying one thing here. Nope, they're coming at this with a 4-part strategy. First, some targeted price increases. Second, they're working super closely with their vendors. Third, they're actually redesigning products. And fourth, they're tightening their belts internally to boost productivity. It's a full-court press, not just a single shot.
Now listen to this. This is the kicker, straight from the CFO, Nathan Winters. He's saying their financial forecast for the entire year already assumes they will pull this plan off. They believe they can completely cancel out that 2-point hit within the year. I mean, that is a seriously confident statement to make to Wall Street.
But they're not just playing defense against these rising costs. They're also playing offense. Zebra is making some big moves to sharpen its focus. They got out of the robotics business, freeing up resources, and then they went out and bought companies in machine vision and interactive displays. All of these moves are about one thing, pouring gas on the fire of their highest growth areas, which are RFID, machine vision, and, you guessed it, AI.
And that leads us right to what is, honestly, the most exciting piece of the puzzle here. Zebra isn't just throwing the term AI around like a buzzword. No, they're weaving it into the very fabric of their business. They see it as their next massive growth engine.
Just think about it for a second. Zebra's devices, their scanners, their computers, they are already in the hands of millions of workers on the front lines of business. They're the bridge between the physical stuff in a warehouse and the digital data in the cloud. That position, it's a huge advantage. It means they can deliver AI insights right to the person who needs it at the exact moment they need it.
So they've launched something called the Frontline AI Suite, and it comes in 3 flavors. First, you've got enablers. These are basically toolkits for developers to go wild and build their own stuff. Then there are blueprints, which are like pre-made templates for common jobs, like figuring out the fastest delivery route. And finally, there's Zebra Companion, which offers fully baked AI assistance. Think of an AI that helps a store clerk find inventory in seconds. The whole idea is to make AI accessible to everyone, no matter how tech-savvy they are.
And this quote from the CEO really nails it. Because they're already the leaders in the hardware, they're in a perfect spot to become the leaders in AI software for these exact same workers. All the data their devices collect, that's the fuel for the AI. And the devices themselves, they're the perfect way to deliver the AI's answers. It's a really powerful, self-reinforcing loop.
All right, so let's zoom out and put all the pieces together. Let's look at the big picture for Zebra, weighing all the good stuff against the challenges they're facing.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes down to this balance sheet of pros and cons. On one side, you have these massive opportunities, a really strong sales forecast, huge growth in things like RFID and machine vision, and this pole position in frontline AI. But on the other side of the ledger, the risks are real. Those memory price hikes are a direct shot at their profits. Getting parts can still be a challenge, and, well, nobody really knows what the global economy is going to do next.
Which leaves us with one big, final question to think about. Zebra is staring down a problem that's hitting their entire industry. But unlike everyone else, they have this super clear, aggressive plan to tackle it head-on, all while they're making this massive bet on AI. So can they do more than just survive this challenge? Can they actually use it to slingshot past their competitors? Judging by that stock jump, it looks like a whole lot of investors are betting that the answer is yes.